everyone, welcome to Wonderland Session number 17. I've well and truly run out of hands now to indicate how many Wonderland Sessions we've done, but I'm really excited that you're here. And this week's Wonderland Session is all about what the fuck to do when catastrophe strikes. Because, honey, catastrophe will strike in your life at some point, probably more than once. In fact, your life might have several huge catastrophes in it, or at least things that you perceive to be catastrophes. And the question is, when this happens, how do we deal with it? What are we doing to survive it? Are we using our tools? Are we thrown completely into panic mode? Do we stay in bed for 3 months and not move? What happens when catastrophe strikes? And this subject is really where we get to choose to see whether our life is working the way that we want it to work. Because it's easy to feel good when everything is going well. You got the money, you got the job, you got the partner, you got the health, you got the this, you got the that. When things start to fall apart is when we really find out whether our shit is working or whether it's not. So this is for those scenarios. So we're talking about losing the job, going bankrupt, getting dumped, getting divorced, finding out somebody cheated on you, losing your health, or one of your parents or family members losing their health. This is for those times when things are completely crazy, when life throws you a serious loop. So there's a few things to keep in mind here, and I've got my notes in front of me. We're going to go through this, and we're just going to talk about what do you do when catastrophe strikes. So the first point is this. There is always going to be pain in your life. There are always going to be things that don't feel good, don't go the way you planned them, are upsetting, depressing, scary, anxiety-inducing. Pain is part of the game. It's part of the trade. It's like when you sign on for a life, you also sign on for some pain. And the pain is the stuff that helps us grow. And the pain is the stuff that helps us become the people that we were supposed to become. And without it, we really don't grow. We really don't change. We really don't evolve into these like amazing beings. And if you look at someone who's 60 or 70 or 80 or older, one of the reasons why they are so wise, why they are so interesting, is because they have been through some shit and they have weathered the storm. And it's another reason why when you're in your 30s and you meet someone who's 22, they just don't have the kind of depth that you are really looking for in a friend or in a partner, generally. Because usually they haven't really been through enough stuff to make them become the people that they're supposed to be. They're almost like too fresh. They haven't really been created into the people that they were supposed to be yet. So the pain is compulsory. It's part of the deal. But the suffering is optional. We do not have to suffer. It is completely up to us. And the other thing is that we can use the pain as information. We can utilize the pain. So you might be upset over losing your job or whatever, and we have the choice of asking ourselves, am I going to use this information to grow from? Or am I just going to use it as like an excuse to be bitter, or an excuse not to try in relationships again, or an excuse to feel sorry for myself? What we really want to do is learn how to utilize the pain and turn it into a lesson and ask ourselves, okay, this thing happened, what can I learn from it? How can I use this to transform myself and potentially the people around me? So, suffering is optional. I want you to hear that. Suffering is always optional. So, when catastrophe strikes, I'm just trying to straighten my hat. This is our opportunity to really walk our talk. Because it's really easy to be like, yeah, feeling good is what I do every day, and it's so important, and I make time for it, and da-da-da-da-da. When the shit goes down, you gotta ask yourself, are you really doing the things that you say you are doing? Are you really taking care of yourself? Are you really working on your radical self-love, even though this thing has just blindsided you? It's so easy to love yourself and to feel good and be in the vortex when your life is working. When things fall apart, this is where we get the opportunity to really embody the things that we believe. We get to embody the things that we believe, and that's the great test. The test is when the fucking chips are down, when things are hard, do you do what you say you will do? Do you really take care of yourself, or do you go into a little hole? And if you do go into a little hole, and maybe you're in a little hole right now, it's okay. You don't have to stay there. And I'm going to give you some ideas, some options, so we can get you out of that hole. Because, let's be real, being in that hole sucks. So, when catastrophe strikes, I want you to sit down with a piece of paper and I want you to take stock of all the tools that you have. I've been teaching you guys tools for 11 years. And in addition to that, I know that you have some of your own that feel really good to you. You have things that you do in your life that help you when things feel bad and make you feel better when things are already good. So here are some of your tools, right? Tapping. Holy shit, tapping is my number one tool. When the shit goes down, I start tapping. And I'm not just tapping on problems, I'm also tapping in affirmations. As those of you who are doing Metaphysical Matchmaker are learning, tap in your affirmations. And if you want to learn how to do this, sign up for Metaphysical Matchmaker and I'll teach you. It's really easy. But you can tap in your affirmations. You can also tap while you pray if you are into prayer. Tapping while you pray is massively powerful. It really shifts some stuff. So tapping is always my first port of call. It may not be yours, but it's definitely an option. The second tool that we have is NLP. NLP is amazing. I love NLP. Like, find an NLP coach and work with them. Look up NLP on YouTube for the things that you're going through. Do some visualizations, do some work with NLP. NLP, for those of you who don't know what it is, stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and it's essentially using new language to rewire the way you think and the way you feel. It is truly amazing. NLP is a great tool. Meditation, another amazing tool. Sit in silence. Be with your thoughts. It's okay. You will learn from consistent meditation that there is nothing to fear in your mind. And that's something that a lot of us have yet to learn. So meditation is amazing. Again, there's lots of really great meditations on YouTube. One of my favorite people is Jessica Snow. She has, I think it's yourmagicla.com. She does beautiful guided meditations. If you're not great at just sitting there, she will walk you through a beautiful guided meditation. They're really transcendental, they're alchemical, they're glorious. There's lots of rich, lush imagery. They're fantastic. So check out Jessica Snow, tell her I sent you, and just learn to sit with your feelings and not freak out about them. This is a practice, but it really, really helps. Embodiment is another tool. So often when we have these feelings, when we're freaked out, when we're scared, when we're in pain, when we're panicking, we stay in our heads and we think about it all day long and we text everyone we know about it and we freak the fuck out. But there is a lot of power in moving those feelings through your body. So put on some music, whether it's sad music, angry music, whatever you're feeling, and let your body feel it. Dance, scream, punch pillows, stamp your feet, have a tantrum, do whatever you have to do to move the feeling through your body. This really works. So what I was doing all weekend in a workshop that I just took, we're literally feeling our grief, feeling our rage, having tantrums in our seat. And as crazy as that sounds, it was really, truly cathartic. It felt amazing. Another tool you have is your friendships. Lean on your friends. That's what they're there for. They love you and they really want to help you. Text them, leave them voice notes, tell them that you're struggling, ask for their help. Have them come over and stay the night with you. Go and have dinner together. Go on long walks. Do whatever you got to do. Lean on your friends. That is what they're there for. Visualization is great too. So thinking about what is it that I really want in this scenario? Like, so you might be in catastrophe and you're obsessing about how it's not going the way you want it to go, and you're thinking about all the things that are displeasing you. Stop, take a breath, visualize what you want. Let the picture get really big, let the picture get really bright and colorful, and let that inform you. Focus on visualizing what you want every single morning. Ideally, you do this even when you're not in catastrophe. Visualize what you want all the time. Feeling good. Focus on feeling good. Go back to episode 1 of the Wonderland Sessions and restart the process. Think about, what do I have to do to feel good? What do I have to do to get in the vortex? And then act from that place. Do what you got to do to feel good. And the Wonderland Sessions, like, this whole series is about feeling good. So there's like 16 other videos on this. There's heaps of information, but make feeling good your priority and your primary goal. Journaling. Grab your journal. I don't have my journal with me. Grab your journal. Start writing. Scribble whatever you want to scribble, you know. And journaling is actually an embodied process. It's not just about your mind. You are using your body to write the thoughts down. You are moving it through your body. That's why journaling is so helpful. Because it's not just cerebral. You are actually using your body. It's a full body process. So journal your feelings. Write them down. This will help you. Gratitude. Holy shit. No matter what is going on in your life, there is so much to be grateful for. Bask in that. Soak in it. Be aware of it. Do a gratitude list every 10 minutes if you have to, because you're so freaked out. Gratitude changes everything. I'm telling you, I have been practicing gratitude for 11 years and my life just gets better and better. So gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Do your rituals. Any rituals that you need to do. If you want to do a releasing ritual with the full moon, write stuff down and burn it. If you want to do intention rituals with the new moon, do it. Whatever feels good to you. Light candles, say devotionals, pray, do whatever you got to do. Do your rituals. There is a reason why we are mind, body, and spirit. It's not just mind and body, my friend. There's a whole other layer to the world and the universe that's going on. And if you don't tap into it, you're always going to feel a little bit empty, a little bit sad, and a little bit fucked up. So don't be afraid of having a spiritual practice, using your rituals, using whatever is ritualistic or special or magical to you. If it's crystals, if it's tarot cards, if it's burning candles, whatever it is, do that thing. Go to therapy. Therapy is everything. I have an amazing therapist who uses a technique called Emdr, which helps you to release old traumas based on eye movement. I know that sounds crazy. I was extremely skeptical when I first heard about it, but it really works. Another thing that you can try is CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, where you'll have a therapist who will literally help you use your brain in different ways. So you're not going into panic, you're not going into depression, you're not going into anxiety, and all those other things. CBT is really, really magical and amazing stuff. Say your affirmations. Write a whole new fleet of affirmations. Put them on your wall, see them all the time. Recite them all day long. Make your own badass affirmations. You don't have to say what Louise Hay teaches you from, the 70s. Like, you can make up your own affirmations. If saying to yourself, I'm a fucking badass warrior bitch, makes you feel good, then say that all day long. Like, just say what feels good to you. There are no rules. What is it that you wish somebody would say to you? And say that. And if you really want to get serious about it, tap while you say them. Game changer. Game changer. And then the other tool that I have talked to you guys a lot about is the idea of a sacred morning practice. I now call it magical morning. Woo! Magical morning is so amazing. So you open the voice notes on your phone, you say what you're grateful for, you say your desire for the day, and you say your desire for the future, phrased in past tense. There's a video I have on it. I think it's Wonderland Session number 15. Is all about the sacred morning practice. Watch that video. Start doing it. It completely changes lives. I have had so many emails, DMs, messages about magical morning. It really does change your whole shit up. So even if you're in catastrophe, that doesn't mean that things can't get better. Things are always getting better all the time. Okay. So those are the tools. It's just a handful of tools. There are so many other tools, but those are the ones that just come to mind right now. Those are the ones that are like, you know, at the tip of my tongue, but there are so many others, and you might have things to help you. Yoga, working out, going on long walks, like FaceTiming with your parents every single day, whatever it is, do that thing. Do that thing. But take stock of your tools, write them down, put them on a piece of paper so that you have them near you all the time. So next time you're like, fuck, you can look at your piece of paper, you can randomly choose a tool, and then you can use it. Okay. Next thing to think when you are in catastrophe is ask yourself, how can I serve right now? What can I do to help other people, right? It's when catastrophe strikes, it's really easy for us to get caught up in our own heads and obsess about our problem and want to think about it constantly and want to talk about it to everyone. And that's certainly an option. And you know, at some point we are going to need to do that. We're going to need to like get it off our chest and clear it up and work through it. But it also really helps to ask ourselves, how can we serve other people? And this isn't just in a professional instance, like this is not necessarily about getting new clients or whatever. It's also like, how can I help my friends right now? I have a friend that's about to move to New York City, and she is like, oh God, like there are all these apartments and I don't want to miss out on them and blah, blah, blah. And I've been going to look at apartments for her and like taking videos of them and sending them, you know, and really listening to her when she's going through something. That makes me feel better about my life, because it's not all about me, right? Helping other people is the best way to make ourselves feel better, which is a weirdly selfish way of being altruistic, but who cares, right? So just ask yourself, how can I serve right now? What can I do that will help someone? Can I help my mother make the dinner? Can I walk my friend's dog for her? What can I do that's gonna make somebody else feel good and will help me take my mind off my own fucking shit for like 3 seconds? And also remind myself that the world is bigger than just me. And even though I may be in catastrophe right now, so are a lot of other people. And I could help them too. Okay. The next point I want to make is to allow yourself to feel your feelings. So when catastrophe strikes, sometimes we feel like we have to be superhuman and just push it all to the side and like keep going, keep hustling, keep grinding, keep whatever. But honestly, when you do that, you're really just heading for a nervous breakdown. So it's very important that you allow yourself to feel what you are feeling. If you have to cry, then cry. If you want to scream, then scream. If you feel horny, then have some orgasms. Like, it doesn't matter, but allow yourself to feel how you're feeling. Don't make yourself wrong for how you feel. There are no wrong feelings. Every feeling is totally valid. It doesn't matter whether it doesn't seem to make sense in the context of what's going on right now. Your feelings are your feelings, and you are feeling them for a reason, and that reason is to help you move through it. So the sooner that you surrender to your feelings and you're like, yes, I feel like shit. Yes, I want to cry. Yes, I want to scream. Whatever. The sooner that you do that, the sooner that you will move through the pain, the grief, the rage, the whatever. So allow yourself to feel these things. Okay. Next point is to ask yourself, how can I reframe this story, right? So when things go wrong, we sometimes tell ourselves a story about how the thing went wrong and like why it went wrong and da-da-da-da. And it's very easy for us to get into a kind of a pattern of self-pity around it, where we're like, well, he did this and it was wrong because of that, and I'm so mad and I feel like I was deceived and blah, blah, blah. But how can we reframe this story? Because, see, here's the thing. I believe that life is happening for us and not to us. For us and not to us. And when life is happening for you, that means that life is giving you the nudges and the pushes and the hints and the winks towards helping you be the person that you were always capable of being. Sometimes we need those pushes to get us there. So instead of being like, oh, life is so unfair, why is this happening to me? Why don't you ask yourself, like, how is this happening for me? What is the benefit in this? Because we've all heard stories about people who crazy things have happened to, and they are able to spin it in a positive direction, because there is always something good in a tragedy. As crazy as that sounds. There's always something good there. So how is life working out for you? How can you make this story something that you learn from? And how can this be the beginning of the rest of your life in a beautiful, positive, upturn direction? So one thing that I learned at this workshop this last weekend was about saying to yourself when you're telling a story that's like a story of woe, to ask yourself or tell the story in the way of like, I am a genius because ... So if you got dumped, maybe you're a genius because you were finally let free from a relationship that wasn't going to allow you to really flourish in the way that you want to flourish. Or if you were let go from your job, maybe you're a genius because now you get to pursue your creative passions that you had always been procrastinating on before, right? There's always a reason, there's always a beautiful way of telling a story. And the other thing about the story is we have to ask ourselves, what does this story mean? Does this story mean that I'm being punished? Or does this story mean that the universe is actually always looking out for me? There's a million different reasons that we can assign to these stories and to these things that happen to us. So why not choose the empowering story? It'll make us feel better and it'll give us so much material and opportunity for growth rather than fuel for bitterness or sadness or like encouragement to just stay in bed for the next 2 months. The next question is to ask yourself, what can you do to take your power back, right? So if you have been fired from your job, for example, what can you do to take your power back there? Maybe you could write a letter to some of your coworkers and let them know how much you enjoyed working with them if that was true. Or maybe it's time to redo your CV and make it feel really powerful and really big and really focus on what you want for the next phase of your life. If you're getting divorced or separated or whatever, maybe the way that you take your power back is by saying like, I'm not going to talk to you for 2 weeks and I need my keys back, right? So what do you need to do to take your power back in this situation? And sometimes when it comes to things like this, it means we have to set a boundary, and that can be a little bit uncomfortable. And there's often a little bit of pushback when we set a boundary. People who are used to us not having any boundaries and love the fact that we don't have any boundaries are going to be pissed, passive-aggressive, mean, rude, whatever. That's their problem. You still have to take your power back, and you still have to put boundaries in place where you need them, because now your priority is taking care of you. So take care of you. Yes. Then the last thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Your friends are there, they love you. Think about if you have, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't want to be a burden, like I don't want to be too much, I don't want to piss my friends off. Think about your best friend right now. If she or he was in crisis, what would you want to do? If it was me, I would want them to call me at 3 a.m. so I could talk to them until 6 a.m. and one of us inevitably fell asleep on the phone. I would want to like get on a plane and go be with them if they really needed it. Like, think about what you would do for your friend and realize that they are totally willing to do that for you. And in fact, it would be their pleasure to be there to help you. Your friends love you so much. They think you're a treasure. They only want the best for you. So don't be afraid to ask them for help and do what you have to do in that realm. Okay? You are not alone. You don't have to do these things by yourself. No matter how powerful, empowered, witchy, magical, fucking badass you are, none of us are an island. We need our friends, we need our family, we need the people who we love to support us and encourage us from time to time. And there's nothing wrong with wanting it or asking for it. So please ask for it if you need it. Okay? I promise that your friends will always come to your aid as much as they possibly can. Okay, that's all for our mini class on how to deal when catastrophe strikes. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel on YouTube so you get all of these as soon as they come up. And if you have a friend who is going through a catastrophe, please send them this video so that they can feel that they are not alone, so they know that you love them, and so you can give them some ideas to help them get through it. No matter what is going on in your life, I want you to know that you are so loved, you are so amazing, you are so worthy of love, you are fucking perfect as you are, and you never have to change to please anyone else. I love you so much. Have a beautiful week.